on June 14th, we're having a fight. All of the greatest champions in the world, the UFC fight, they're building an arena in front of the White House, if you can believe it. Then
President Donald Trump had announced a huge UFC fighting event on the 14th of June 2026, right in front of the White House, along with the celebration of America's 250th anniversary. However, Trump has now canceled the event, expressing dissatisfaction with the planned fights and the overall lineup. He had claimed that a big arena was being built and that a maximum number of people could watch it, but those plans have now been scrapped. He had even joked that the event fell on his birthday, saying he accepted the decision-maker's selection. Now that excitement has turned into disappointment as Trump pulls the plug entirely.
like 6,000 seats, and then they're going to build it for the fight. They're going to have the greatest champions of the world coming, and they're going to have over 100,000 people out. They're putting screens all over certain parts of Washington so everyone can see it. I don't think there'll be anything like it. It'll be on a Sunday night, June 14th. Flag Day happens to be my birthday, but I didn't do it for that reason. Sir, we like the June 14th date. I said, it's my birthday. They didn't know it, but they picked it. But it's, I'll take a little heat on that.
While making his original announcement, Donald had said that big screens would be put in Washington for the public to watch the occasion. He had revealed that the best fighters would be showing their talent on this day and showed gratitude to UFC President Dana White, with whom he had been working to arrange the showdown. However, sources now indicate that Trump grew increasingly unhappy with the fight card being assembled. It appears the lineup failed to meet his expectations, ultimately leading him to cancel the event before it could move forward.
It's not that, but I will tell you there's going to be some. Everyone's asking me for tickets for the UFC, but it's going to be great. They're going to have the greatest champions in the world all fighting that night. The great Dana White does a great job, and he wanted to do it. And the White House will be the background of the fight. There'll never be anything like this. There has never been, and there never will be anything like that.
Building on the early enthusiasm over the White House event, Alex Pereira had revealed his own prominent UFC aspirations to take on some of the most formidable opponents in mixed martial arts, such as a possible bout with Jon Jones. In order to pursue a third championship belt, he even suggested the prospect of contending for a heavyweight title. According to his remarks, he is searching for historic matchups that could have a big influence on both his career and the sport. However, those ambitions will now not be showcased at the White House, as Trump's cancellation has removed that stage entirely.
2 mais 1 igual a 3. Tem cinturão aí pouco acima da sua categoria que tá numa situação esquisita, né? Tá de olho nele?
Eu falei do meu interesse, né, em estar lutando na categoria dos pesos pesados. Eu não sei, eu falei da Casa Branca com o John Jones. Já tinha falado também de uma luta, né? Até lutar no pesado, terceiro cinturão. Mas eu não sei, não tá no meu controle, né? Eu tenho, as minhas vontades, mas também estou na expectativa, assim como todo mundo.
Following Pereira's plans, Kamzat stated that he would be interested in competing against him in the UFC, stressing that the fight should be about actual competitiveness rather than talking or non-striking tactics. He clarified that he is prepared to compete and demonstrate who the superior fighter is in the octagon, and questioned assertions regarding Pereira's popularity in comparison to his own. Matchups like this were reportedly part of what Trump reviewed, and the lack of clarity around confirmed bouts is believed to be one of the key reasons behind his decision to cancel the event.
Yeah, we were speaking about that as well. That's good fight for him, good fight for me. Everyone knows that, UFC knows that, but UFC don't want to give this guy from me, So, and the guy say, I come to you jiu-jitsu, wrestling, grappling, I don't know what. So this grappling, jiu-jitsu is not our job. Our job, UFC fighter, So don't say no for me. And he said he can't fight with Duplessis. He accept the fight. But now he say it comes out not good fights.
Addressing Glover Teixeira, Kamzat stressed that the official UFC framework should be used for every legitimate fight. He said that the emphasis should be on being ready, abiding by the rules, and resolving conflicts in a scheduled fight, rather than on unofficial gatherings or challenges outside of the UFC. This kind of unsettled business within the UFC ranks is said to have contributed to Trump's frustration, as he reportedly wanted a clean, confirmed, and exciting lineup for the White House event, which the UFC was unable to deliver in time.
And him and his coach, what's his name?
Plinio.
He's Teixeira. Teixeira, yeah,
Oh,
Teixeira.
Teixeira.
He said like if he see me like he gonna in hotel or something. Bro, I don't need hotel. You need to come to the UFC. You has a contract. If you wanna fight, let's go. Why you saying hotel and stuff? This baby shit, you know? If you wanna fight, real fight, we meet somewhere. So let's see who has a big heart. All the way. I don't have problems fight anyway. Hotel, no hotel, whatever.
Regarding Ian Gary, Kamzat emphasized that UFC bouts are ultimately about spectator enjoyment and performance. He said that rather than depending on statements made on social media or conversations outside of the formal battle, the greatest way to demonstrate skill and determination is within the cage, where the crowd can see who really deserves respect. Trump is said to have shared similar sentiments, believing the proposed card lacked the kind of high-stakes, crowd-pleasing matchups that would befit a historic event on the White House lawn.
Okay.
Don't bring it up.
Well, I was just gonna, if you wanted to say something about that. 'Cause they,
What is that? Gary, Ian Gary. Yeah.
Ian Gary. Yeah.
Why give him more hype?
No problem. No problem. We can speak about him as well. He's also a UFC fighter. We make him famous. He wants it. He wants it. He want to be a corner, but we make him like, yeah, what should we do?
On the other hand, before any solid names could be confirmed for the White House card, there were still some decisive fights left unresolved, like the one between Paddy Pimblett and Justin. They will temporarily hold Ilya's place in the interim lightweight championship, and Justin made it very obvious that Ilya is the true contender and will return soon. This uncertainty around key title fights is believed to have been a major sticking point for Trump, who reportedly wanted only fully confirmed and marquee bouts featured at the prestigious event.
No, it's no disappointment at all. I mean, everything on paper, interim champion is the same as a champion on paper, contract-wise. And that's what we fight for. This is my job, and it's the biggest opportunity for me. I didn't know a long time before they announced the fight that it was going to be Paddy. I think they were waiting to see if Ilya was going to fight, and I think that variable was kind of unpredictable. None of us knew when he was going to fight. That's what I kept telling everybody. Like, whenever Ilya fights, I want to fight. And turns out he's going to sit down for a little bit. So, Paramount, this is, they need Michael Johnson versus Justin Gaethje coming out party. And
just like Justin's excitement for the matchup, Paddy also shares that, although he had been preparing for Ilya at first, when the fight was decided for him and Justin, he is still getting ready with the same energy. He said that Justin is also a great fighter to be in the ring, as he has done many good jobs previously. Paddy shares his positive thoughts for Justin. However, with the White House event now canceled, these fighters will have to make their mark elsewhere, as the grand stage Trump had promised no longer appears to be on the table.
Same question for Paddy.
Well, I was half preparing for Ilya, to be honest. I was doing little bits in training camp for Ilya. And then, like 2 days before the announcement, I got told it was Justin. But it's a privilege to share the octagon with such a legend. And it's going to be unbelievable to get in there with him. And as he said, until Ilya comes back, this is the real belt. People call it a fake belt all they want, but until Ilya comes back into the octagon, this is the belt. Me and him are fighting for the lightweight championship.
According to Justin, the pre-fight conversation is not trash talk, but rather just the fighters being themselves. He pointed out that MMA is an entertainment industry, and because he and Paddy are both thrilling fighters, fans will watch. They will give it their all as the cage closes, he said. For everyone in the arena, he wants to create a thrilling, intense atmosphere. While that excitement remains, it will not be playing out in front of the White House, as Trump's cancellation has shifted the focus back to traditional UFC venues.
I expect a war, obviously. Justin Gaethje is one of my favourite fighters to watch. He's your favourite fighter's favourite fighter, and it's going to be a pleasure to get in there with him. I'd love to have a brawl for 5 rounds. As he said, him versus Michael Johnson, how he introduced himself to the UFC. I'd love to have a fight like that, but I don't think it'll pan out that way. But let's see what happens. Hopefully, I'm getting a performance bonus and a fight of the night bonus.
Moving with the discussion, Paddy Pimblett talked about how a fighter standing in the UFC is based on performance in crucial areas like grappling, professionalism, and consistency. In addition to victories, He underlined that weight problems, lethargy, or contentious results might cause even gifted fighters to fall short. He used Dan Hooker as an example, pointing out that despite some recent successes, Hooker's limits and failures have hurt his status in the division. These are exactly the kinds of inconsistencies that Trump reportedly pointed to when expressing his dissatisfaction with the overall quality of the proposed White House fight card.
Yeah, it's the nature of this game. It's always like that. Yeah, I thought Makhachev was calling to fight me at the time, and then he went up. They vacated. They make an interim fight, and I don't get the call. But yeah, I just stayed the course, and I've been really working hard in training and really sticking to my guns when it's come to taking the right matchups. I would have fought anybody. I would have fought Arman. I would have fought Paddy. I would have fought Ilya, as long as it was, for a belt, and that's where we're at. So I'm excited.
Paddy clarified that he had originally trained to fight Ilia Tapuria, but the matchup was altered to Justin Gaethje, building on his earlier remarks on performance and consistency. Despite the change, he maintains his focus and self-assurance, stating that he will be prepared to show himself in the cage after winning the interim championship. This kind of last-minute reshuffling of fights is also believed to have frustrated Trump, who reportedly felt the UFC's lineup lacked the stability and star power needed to justify holding the event at the White House.
It's always been one fight at a time, but I would be a fool to say that this is the beginning. There's no doubt that the end is near. And, I've been in some of the biggest fights, ever in this company. And they continue to give me these opportunities. And so I'm so thankful for them for giving me this chance to prove that I'm one of the best in the world. Again, since 2017, I fought 12 times and only one guy's been outside of the top 5. So I've been here, I've been putting in the work, and, it's a tough game. It's a crazy game. Everyone's always like, you're going to win. I'm like, dude, it's such a crazy game. I'm going to be as ready as I can, and I'm going to give, 100% max effort. And it is what it is.
Paddy talked about his journey as interim champion and the lightweight division's possible future. He proposed that after winning the interim belt, he might be elevated to undisputed champion if Ilia Tapuria were to relinquish the title. He emphasized that although the future of the division is uncertain, he is thrilled about the prospects and the possibility of unifying belts. That uncertainty in the division's future likely played a role in Trump's thinking, as he was reportedly seeking a more defined and compelling championship picture before committing to such a high-profile event.
I mean, I think people will think it's trash talk, but it's just him being him, me being me, This is an entertainment business, and he's one entertaining motherfucker. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind him adding something to the story so that people want to watch. Either way, people are going to want to watch. I'm the most consistent, most exciting guy, and this guy is on a freaking tear right now. So when that cage door locks, we're going to try to beat the shit out of each other, and I can guarantee every person in the arena will turn into an animal, and that's my goal every time.
Regarding the betting odds that favor Paddy over Justin, Dan Hooker was questioned. Given Gaethje's formidable takedown resistance, he voiced doubts that Pimblett could be regarded as the favorite. Hooker pointed out that although the bout is a big chance for Pimblett, the result is still unknown because he hasn't yet regularly faced elite boxers at their best. Reports suggest that Trump was similarly unconvinced by the matchup's appeal at a presidential-level event, viewing the fight card as underwhelming and not worthy of the historic backdrop of the White House.
Like, people talk about my last 3 wins, and Tony Ferguson, who was on his way out. But like, Dariush looks about 65, you know what I mean? He's got a full head of grey hair. He beat Dariush. He didn't beat Charles Oliveira. A lot of people didn't think he won that fight. On his way out to the cage, he punched a fan. Got banned. UFC probably had to pay a big fee for the fella not to sue him. He then got his title shot and, I've got a bad back. And got beat by back pain when really he probably just couldn't even make weight. Sits out for 11 months. Gets offered the fight in the meantime against Kamzat, says no. When if I ever got offered the fight against someone who'd beat me.
Reflecting on a backstage meeting with Paddy, Dan Hooker noted that security felt a little uneasy because of reports of a possible confrontation. He clarified that Pimblett is gregarious and intelligent, frequently using foul language as part of the entertainment aspect of the sport. Hooker stressed that fighters intentionally select their fights, pursuing the best possibilities, and that supporters can interpret public remarks or internet interactions as proof of a fighter's dominance. Behind the scenes, the overall atmosphere surrounding the event's preparation is said to have added to Trump's growing unease about the event's suitability for the White House setting.
Well, I thought I was going to fight him in October. I thought I was going to fight him in Abu Dhabi in October, to be honest. But obviously that never happened, and now we're here. So I am eventually fighting him. I thought I was going to fight on this Jan 24th card, so I was preparing for Ilya for a couple of weeks, to be honest. Just doing bits of training for him. And then obviously we got told it's Justin, Ilya's not fighting, so obviously me and Ilya mightn't like each other, lad, but I wish him nothing but the best with all his family shit. It's nothing to do with fighting. But when I win this belt, I'm the champ for now. I don't care if it says interim on it, I'm the champ, he's out the cage, I'm the champ.
Talking about Max Holloway, who in response to not being chosen for the temporary lightweight title, stated that he accepts it as a part of the UFC's operations, he stressed that he should concentrate on his own performance, instead of whining or responding to criticism. Holloway stated that he can maintain his continued importance and establish his reputation by winning fights and remaining active. He said that he will be prepared for a title opportunity should the UFC contact him. With the White House event now canceled, fighters like Holloway are simply refocusing their energy on performing well within the standard UFC calendar.
You never know, he might end up having to vacate and I'm going to get promoted to undisputed champ when I have the belt, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to win this interim belt, so that could end up happening. And I could defend it against little posh ass if he's got another win by then. Because I reckon Charles is going to fight Max Holloway. So if that happens, I could end up fighting the winner of that. So we're just going to have to see how the division plays out.
So we could have like a combined UFC lightweight BMF champion.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That would be sick.
In the end, what was once shaping up to be a landmark moment in sports history has now been called off, as Donald Trump officially canceled the planned UFC White House event due to his dissatisfaction with the fights and the lineup. Along with that uncertainty, fighters like Pereira and Kamzat are still eager to fight great opponents, and the contest between Paddy and Justin is still set to move forward in a traditional UFC setting. While fans are disappointed to lose the historic White House stage, the action inside the octagon will continue, and the sport will keep making history on its own terms.